Los Angeles Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. Stat of the game. I talked about this on Beyond the Box Score on Monday. There are a number of wide receivers who are outside the top 20 in points per game who feel kind of like must starts, like Chris Olave. Devonte Adams is one of them. That's where I'm going with this. And they a lot of them have the same thing in common. Amari Cooper's one. They just don't catch touchdowns. And Devonte Adams caught 3 touchdowns in his first 3 games. He has 1 touchdown catch since then. And Aiden O'Connell has 3 touchdown catches in his last touchdown passes in his last 5 starts since taking over Jimmy Garoppolo. So we've been talking about tough calls. Adams, it feels like, is a little limited by the fact that he pretty much never catches touchdowns. Heath, is Devonte Adams a tough call for you in this game against the Chargers?
If we're calling a top 15 wide receiver a tough call, then I think he is. He's right around 15 to 18 for me in the rankings, and which seems awfully high for a tough call, but I don't feel great about it. I think he's probably going to score somewhere in that 12 to 13 range, and you hope he scores a touchdown.
Would you guys start the surging Rashied Rice or Devonte Adams?
Rice.
Still Adams for me.
I believe I have Rice higher.
Would you start Jamar Chase or Devonte Adams?
Chase.
Okay.
I'd also start Keenan Allen over Devonte Adams.
That's my next question.
Yeah, I would too.
Do you guys think that they have big games? How likely is it that they have big games, Allen and Adams?
I mean, you just made the case why Adams might not have a big game, and Keenan Allen's got Easton Stick now as his quarterback. So, look, they're not playing the best defenses in the world. So that's the hope, is that, certainly from Adams' perspective, we've seen a lot of big plays against the Chargers. So hopefully that's where he comes to play. Like, I think it's similar to what we were talking about with some of these other receivers. You have to have a very stacked lineup to bench a Devonte Adams, to bench a Keenan Allen, just because of what they are still capable of doing. And as Heath kind of said, the floor has been there for Adams, even with the bad quarterback. 12 to 14 points is kind of where he's been the last 3 weeks. So why would that necessarily change facing this defense? So I don't love him. As you see, I'm if you're watching our stream, I'm the lowest on Devonte Adams, but he's still a number 2 wide receiver. So Rice, I would start over him. The touchdown dependent Cortland Sutton, I start over him. Both Rams guys, I start over him. Amari Cooper, start over him. DeAndre Hopkins, I start over him. I don't know how far you want to go, but that's kind of where it is for me.
So who's the best flex option in this game? It's such a shame. You think about this game with Eckler, Jacobs, Adams, Keenan Allen, in theory, Herbert. What could have been? This could have been a great fantasy game to kick off the fantasy playoffs. It doesn't look like that. Dave, is there anyone in this game that you love?
The DSTs as sleepers?
Probably not. You don't even love them. They're just
I don't even love them. Look, I think you can trust Austin Eckler. I like the matchup for Eckler. I like how he looked last week. I think he's playing a little bit better, and I think Easton Stick will be good for Austin Eckler. And I think Easton Stick proved by the end of last week's game that he's not the worst passer in the world and that he can be solid for them. So Keenan Allen's downgraded, but he's still going to get a lot of targets. He's still going to be Keenan Allen. So those 2 are the guys I like the most. Devonte Adams, for me, is no better than a low-end receiver too. And that's really about it. The only guys I would say are like sleepers are the DSTs.
Okay.
I'd go Allen, Adams, Eckler is my top 3.
Okay, so that implies to me that you're a little low on Eckler.
Yeah, I think I was the one who submitted him as the tough call, and I might be the only one who thinks that he's a tough call. And I do think it's a good matchup in terms of dump off passes, because that's what the Raiders give up. But it's just hard, as I know he had a 100-yard game, exactly 100 yards, I believe, last week. And so maybe he's back, but as bad as he's been for most of the last 4 or 5 weeks. And this Raiders team did just face a backup quarterback and play a 3-0 game for the entire game. Then they've been better defensively since the coaching change. So I think I think the implied total right now for the Chargers is 15.5. So I don't love Eckler's touchdown chances, and he is still going to split. Like the lower percentage of the touches thing happened. He just caught a few more passes.
Yeah. Fair. You guys are all starting Zeke over Eckler?
Yes.
No.
Dave and Jamie have them back to back with Eckler 1 spot ahead. Heath has Zeke 4th. Maybe we should have talked about him today. All right, how about Eckler or Cooper Kupp?
I like Cup a lot.
Cup.
Eckler or Travis Etienne against the Ravens?
Eckler.
Eckler and
Etienne.
PPR.
All right, so Dave and Jamie have Eckler around 12th. Heath has him a little bit lower, like 16th. And then we talked about Keenan Allen and Devonte Adams. I don't know that there's anything else in this game. How about a tight end? Gerald Everett. He's been all right lately.
Not with Stick and with Palmer back.
Rather have Goddard.
All right. Let's talk about the Raiders running back. Sorry. If Josh Jacobs somehow plays, how much would you like him? And then if not, any interest in Abdullah or White?
Jacobs might be my favorite play in the game if he comes back, but he's got to get in some practice and all that stuff first. I would like him quite a bit. If he doesn't play, I would imagine it's Zamir White on rushing downs, Abdullah on passing downs, and don't really love either one of those guys. Abdullah would be the desperation play, especially in PPR.
All right. Yeah, try to avoid them. I'm not going to drag this out anymore. That's it for Thursday Night Football, Dave.
No. Punt.